Hello, beautiful people. My name is Emmy. I hope you're doing wonderful. And well, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so happy to see you again. And let's dive right into today's subject, which is how to make friends. I know it's so hard to make friends. If anybody tells you any different, they're lying. It is hard. I get for some people who are very extroverted, some people who don't really value very deep rooted connections, it might be really easy, you know? If you go over quantity over quality, then sure, there are 8 billion people out there. You can be friends with so many people if you want. But if you really crave that soul connection, you know, this and I love this person, I really connect with that person, I feel like we're bounded by this friendship, you know, and I don't need to text them every day to know that they're my friend. I know they are. I can text them anytime, and you know, if that's what you're looking for, then I think this video will be helpful. If you're just looking to meet people and just have people around, I don't really connect with that. You can still watch. I'd love to have you here, but I will be talking more about how to really find someone you can connect with. So let's start with my experience, how my circle has grown and then shrunk and then, you know, evolved over the years. So I would say that most of my life, my circle has been very small, talking like 3, 4, 5 friends. And I like it that way. I really do. From when I was in elementary school all the way to when I'm now 24 years old. I love that my circle is small and that the people I have around me who I call friends, I love them. I love them as human beings. They're so awesome. They're so beautiful. I have a deep admiration for them and I love them with all my heart. And I know that they feel the same. And so that's why I believe that having a small circle, quality over quantity, is the best way to go. Now, I did say that for most of my life, my circle has been small, but I've had this very small moment of my life for a year when I was in my last year of high school where I had a larger circle. And honestly, I wish I had left because I didn't go for quality over quantity. I went for quantity over quality, and it left me scarred and disappointed. It was filled with drama, and I didn't feel that deep connection with most of the people in my group. So, with that in mind, you would think, okay, so when you finished high school, you moved on. No, of course not. I kept all my friends, and now I'm 24 and I don't talk to any of them anymore. And I feel good about it. If I see them on the street, I might say hi and smile, but I think we parted ways and it is for the best for me and for them. We just weren't compatible. People change, people evolve, and some people don't, and that's okay. So now that I'm an adult, I have 5 or 6 friends. I talk to them once in a blue moon, but when we do catch up, it's golden. It's like we've never parted. It's like we never parted ways. We were always in this conversation. We just continue from a year ago, you know? Like I said, I have a deep admiration for all of them. I love them with all my heart, and I'm very grateful to have them, and I wouldn't exchange them for a bigger circle. It's easy to see on social media all these influencers who have 17 million friends and go on these trips, girl trips, boy trips, and there's like 16 people. But truly, what are the odds that let's say 20 people have the same values, have the same type of expectation in this relationship, every single one of them knows each other truly, very unlikely, very, very unlikely. And you know, if it's the case, I'm so happy for them, but I have never been able to find such a big amount of people that would not cross my boundaries. So yeah, that's what's been working for me. Something different might work for you, but I guess the advice I'm going to give you is keeping that in mind, that you're looking for a real connection. So let's start with the more organized portion of the video with the advice and everything. So first of all, start small with the social interactions. You don't need to go into like a very deep conversation with the person, talk about your whole life. If it leads there, sure, if you're comfortable with that. But realistically, start with like a smile, eye contact, a little wave, little, a white person smile. Start with that and see how you feel. Trust your instinct that if every time you try and make contact like this, not contact, but make eye contact or smile or wave or say hi to someone, to completely ignore you, well, I would say there are exceptions, but don't waste your time trying to get someone's attention like this. If they're not interested, they're not interested. Look, I think I'm a kind person. I think I'm smart. When I was in college, different school system where I'm from, but when I was in college, I tried to make friends with a girl, and while I was actively just asking her, oh, do you live far from here and stuff? Is the commute okay? We're leaving class, she ran away from me. And then she never made eye contact ever with me ever again. And you would think, oh, maybe she was anxious. No, like, you can tell when someone doesn't want to talk to you. And yeah, happens to the best of us. It happens. And I still remember it, from 4 years ago or 4 years later. That hurt my feelings, but you know what? She didn't deserve my presence if she couldn't even answer simple questions or just tell me, hey, I think I want to, be alone right now, or, or next class when I saw her, because I did see her again and again after in the same class. We were in the same class, and it was a small class too, so there was nowhere for her to go or no excuse for her not to just say like, hey, sorry, I ran away, really needed to go to the bathroom, or I was kind of having a panic attack, or you don't owe people explanations, but it is nice to give them one, when they're clearly trying to be nice. But anyways, next question is put yourself where your people are. By that I mean join a club, go volunteer, look up on Google like your area, volunteering near me, at your school. Is there a club, or is there a group? For me, I found a singing group at my school, and I, out of the 9 people that were there, made one single friend, and she is an absolute gem. She is wonderful, so talented, so beautiful. I love her with all my heart, and I know she feels the same. And I'm very grateful I joined that club, because I'm quite shy, especially singing in public is very intimidating for me, and I did it, and I'm so glad I did, because I met my friend that way. So yeah, I highly recommend doing that. Like I said, volunteers. You can join meetups or events for like things you like. If you like anime or mangas, it's taking a lot more space in our generation, in our society nowadays. There are conventions, there are, like I say, meetups, events, communities. Even if it's online, some people will think that because you don't see the person, you can touch them with your little fingers. that the connection isn't real, but I like to disagree. I think connections are rare, and if you feel it in your heart, you really appreciate the people you met in the forum or on a Discord server, yeah, that is a friendship. Doesn't need the touching thing, doesn't need that component. It is a friendship, and it is beautiful, and it is rare. I just think that, meeting people online also can take a little bit of the pressure off. I recommend, if you can meet them online, it's always fun. And sometimes you meet them on face to face and you're like, oh, I don't think we click like this. And that's okay. That's okay. It's completely fine. There's 8 billion people and we tend to forget it. 8 billion people on Earth. So, tip number 3 is focus on being curious instead of impressive or talking, and try and listen, ask questions. Even if it's something you're not really interested in, treat that person the same way you would like to be treated. And I know it's cheesy and we've heard it a million times, but it's true. Like, ask them, like, if they talk about, I like anime, so I'm gonna talk about anime. If they're like, oh, I've been watching a couple animes and stuff, oh, nice, what's your favorite one? Oh, do you like? None, I'm interested. I'd like to know, we never know, maybe I could find my next show to watch. Oh, I like whatever anime. Okay, what's it about? Da da da. Like, ask questions, be curious. And through people talking about themselves, you'll see if you actually like them. And for you, it's such a small investment to just ask a question, be curious. Never know. Maybe through them talking about anime, you'll realize, oh my god, I watched an episode and it was amazing. I love it. It's the best thing in the world, Even if it's not going into topics like this, when you've been saying hi, let's say to your neighbor, hey, how you doing today? Oh, I'm good. Beautiful outside. Small talk, we tend to forget that it's okay if we don't go into our childhood trauma straight away. It's okay if we just start with small talk and, I don't know, work stuff. Oh, do you need to talk? I'm okay. Okay, well, you know where I live, And honestly, if you don't really like that person after a while, then you can just, not after a while, but after talking to them like this, having small talk, you don't have to offer your help. You don't need to keep saying hi. You don't owe your time to anybody, but that small investment you will make into getting to know them a little bit will open the door either to a great friendship or for you to leave this kind of beginning of a relationship, But for that to be even an option, you need to open up and smile, say hi, how you doing? I would say number 4 is directly connected to that, but work on self-talk. I find myself sometimes struggling with internal doubts, like, oh, I hope I didn't sound weird, didn't sound stupid, or oh my god, why did I say that? Or I hoped I looked okay, like, did I have something in my teeth? I get self-conscious and I think, like, am I not interesting enough? Like, what's wrong with me? They won't like me. I'm not even gonna try and talk to them. When you take the time to work on your self-talk, you challenge those thoughts. The way you talk to yourself will be reflected in the way that you talk to others. The language you use with yourself, you'll probably end up using it with your friends down the line or with people around you, As much as this is really like self-work, and it might sound hard, it is so worth it, because at the end, and I guarantee you, okay, if you start, really listening to yourself and changing your way of thinking, you'll realize that you're genuinely more likable than you thought. The fact that you actually want to make friends, the fact that you genuinely just want people to like you, or you genuinely just want to have this connection with a person is a great indicator into the fact that you're not an asshole or a piece of poop, you know? You're actually a likable person who, just like everybody else, wants a true connection with other people. Now, my fifth advice and final one is be consistent and don't take rejection personally. Be consistent in the fact that it takes time to build a friendship. It takes time, and if you meet someone that's cool, follow up, you know? If it's a little smile, then go in with a little, hi, how you doing? If it's, you know, you hung out with them once, you made it out the group chat or the Discord server or the classroom, you know, ask to hang out again. And if they say no, if they're always busy, they genuinely do not seem to be interested, that's okay. You know why? Because there's 8 billion people out there, and we're not going to click with everybody. And it's not because they're not nice, necessarily. Sometimes, yes. It's not necessarily because they're not nice, or they're not cute, or they're not funny. Just because, I don't know, it didn't click like that. And it will be disappointed. It's easy to be like, don't take rejection personally, just move on. But it's just important to realize that your worth is not defined by the number of friends you had or the number of interactions you've had. You might find yourself being like, maybe it's the way I approach people, you know? But understand that I will never be, oh, it's me. I'm a terrible person, you know? Again, if you've been watching my videos, you understand that I really value mental health and self-compassion. I think if you're working on yourself, you're trying to be better for you, for your family and friends or acquaintances, you're trying to be a better human, people will see that, you know? It's important, again, to see how you talk about yourself. Understand that you're worthy of love, you're worthy of friendship, and if it doesn't work with someone, there will be someone else. There will be someone else. And there will be people that you do not like. And I don't know, it's not that they were not nice, it's just it didn't click. I didn't really like them. That's fine. Doesn't mean that their worth changes because you didn't like them. It's the same way, the other way around, you know? At the end of the day, making friends should be fun and should be filled with self-compassion. It's okay if it works. It's amazing if it works. It's okay if it doesn't. It's amazing if it doesn't work. Just means you don't have to toss that person out to yourself. If they decide to exit, let them. That's okay. And it's also okay to be like, hey, I feel like you haven't been answering. Is everything okay? Oh yeah, I've just been busy. Okay. Text me when you have time. And if they don't, then you got your answer. And that's okay. It's disappointing, but it's okay. So that's it. That's enough. If you have suggestions for other videos, I would love to know them. I would love to hear you in the comments below. Please write to me. Let me know what you thought. If you have advice also for other people, please, please, please feel free. I want it to be an open discussion. And every time I see a comment on my videos, I generally get so happy. And so, yeah, like and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you next week.